As Nigerians navigate through challenging economic indicators, young analysts and business leaders give tips to entrepreneurs on how to prevail in the midst of the turbulence.
For any business that you want to start, there is always a version of the business, a small version of the business that you can start and scale up. Now, for that small version of the business, you can always attract crowdfunding. You can always attract funding from people that would give you smaller amounts of money. It's important that the mindset moves away from loan all the time for businesses. You need to look at how can I get equity into my business? Because it's when you get equity into your business that you are able to withstand periods of lower revenues. Okay? So whatever business it is you're considering, whatever it is, first of all, ask yourself, what's the small version of this business I can start today without having to go to a bank and get a loan? What am I saying? I'm saying, look, if you have the right story and you have the skills to back it up, you will find someone to fund it, not necessarily a bank.
Everybody wants to come to dinner, but nobody wants to come to the kitchen. It's a very important thing. I think that's one of the biggest issues we've had in this country. We're so much about harvesting. And everybody's talking about agriculture now, but people forget. So be a farmer, it's not an easy thing, no. Solomon, Abraham, these are entrepreneurs. Go back. Genesis 13 tells us that Abraham was a very wealthy man. How did he become wealthy? Trading matters. Creating value matters. And so, to go back to the question of online and all of those things, it's not just about travel. In very difficult times, that's when men and women are made. In very difficult times, it's when you will see opportunities. And when opportunities come, you have to grab it. Flyboku.com we created today primarily as an online travel market. Because I don't know anybody, particularly in this environment, that does not want to save money. And so we look at a space where we already have passion, because I said, don't do things because your neighbor is doing it. Don't do things because your brother is doing it. Don't do things because the man from the bank says they're going to finance agriculture. Because if you don't have the passion for it, you're not going to be able to wake up the next day to go and plow the sand and look for that crop and all the things it takes to be successful there. I beg of you, look inward and search. What is your passion? For me, I went back to my passion. I was, in a very humble way, very successful in this oil and gas space, but there was something missing for me. I walked away not because price of oil was crashing. I walked away about 6 years ago when I felt something is missing for me. I wanted to go back to my passion. So when I created flyboku.com, it's about what I call first-class global standards for Nigerians, because there's no reason for us to lower our standard. We're global people. Our thinking at the best, we're smart people. Why should I spend 20 years of making things better in the other world when I could put it right here? And yes, Femi is right. Infrastructure is a problem. Power is a problem. And if, as an entrepreneur, as an SME owner, I can relate to you. Those ideas that you have, please. I learned from a boss of mine a long time ago. He said, if it's not on paper, it does not exist. Put your plans and ideas to paper. Do the research. And with all due respect to the banks in the house, the banking and the financial sectors have failed entrepreneurs in Nigeria. The reality is nobody is structured to take risk on you. You are the only one that can take risk on you. One of the things that worries me today is we're moving from this oil and gas focus. Right? Why? Because the prices crash. And now you're hearing solid minerals, solid minerals, solid minerals. And I get worried. You know why I get worried? Because I'm a contrarian. I go back and say, okay, solid minerals. What is solid minerals? Copper, gold, aluminum. Do you know there's some commonality between those same things with oil and gas? It's called commodity. We're not adding value. And the people that are producing those things are suffering as much as we are. I get worried when some of the best minds are taking us to the wrong space again. So I come back to where I started from. Look in the mirror and look for something where you can create passion. I'm saying go back and look at opportunities around you, and you will really, really be glad to look inward and do something you're passionate about.
The key issues for Nigerian startups and small medium enterprises is that they must give attention to the following: building equity into their business, having passion, creating value, and also exploring opportunities.